full of stats.
Engage Vernon.
I'm your new wingman.
We will win because we have.
Welcome to CommLink.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the CommLink Podcast. I'm Stubb, and I'm joined by Silvius. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Doing okay. Just chilling, just vibing.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
Yeah. Over here, contemplating how much of a scam Star Citizen is.
The biggest.
The biggest.
You heard of the day before? That's nothing compared to Star Citizen.
I think today's topic's gonna help us find out how much of it is. So today we're gonna be taking a look at what maybe some people in the Star Citizen community aren't aware of. But once upon a time, Star Citizen had a number of stretch goals going all the way up to I think it's 65 million. And so we're going to be taking a look at those different stretch goals. And I'm looking forward to this because it's going to be a mix of things that have been in the game for a while now. Some things that just fairly recently hit the game. And then still others that are nowhere to be seen yet. So it's going to be fun to take a look at. And I'm looking forward to that. But before we get into that, I want to just go ahead and give a quick reminder to everybody over on our Twitter page at CommLink Pod. We still have our Cutter Rambler giveaway going on with LTI. So our goal is to hit 100 followers. Once we hit that number, we'll be doing the giveaway. So to enter, you just go to at CommLink Pod on Twitter and like the post, retweet the post, and follow the account, and you're in. So just a quick little plug again for the Rambler giveaway.
Yeah, it's still got plenty of entries left, so make sure you hop in that. Yeah.
All right, you ready to take a look at the Star Citizen stretch goals?
Yeah, let's do it. This is, Star Citizen news is really slow, early January and everything, and we've been kind of wanting to look at this and do an episode on it for a little while, so figured now would be a good time to do it. And I'm going to pull up, for anybody watching on YouTube, I'm going to pull up the browser page with the goals on it, so you can follow reading along if you watch there. On Spotify, just kind of listen. But here we go.
Yeah, and for anyone that's just listening to the audio and you want to take a look at these for yourselves, just go to robertspaceindustries.com. Go to development, and then underneath development on the far right, click on funding, and it'll come right up.
So it's not hard to find at all.
Yeah. So currently, the Star Citizen Live stats, funds raised is at $660 million, just to kind of give us that context of where we currently are, and over 5 million accounts. So pretty big numbers.
Recently hit that 5 million too.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Look at that crowdfunding timeline. Big drop right there. Is that day by day?
Yeah. I think by default you're seeing the daily chart.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into the stretch goals.
Yeah. So starting off the first one for $2.5 million. Star Citizen will feature an additional flyable ship, the Anvil Gladiator.
And we have that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Been in the game for quite a while now.
Check that off.
Yep. 2 million regular community updates. Citizens with appropriate packages will get to play the multiplayer dogfighting module, and citizens with appropriate packages will receive access to the 30 mission Squadron 42 campaign upon release. So we get pretty regular community updates. I would say we've got that, right? And then the dogfighting module, that's Arena Commander, right? Got that as well.
Yeah, and you guys have to keep in mind when we're reading these, the scope of Star Citizen was way less than what it is now.
Oh, yeah.
I think some of these might not even... I don't know if these started after the PU was announced, or if this was before. If this was just Squadron 42 stuff up to this point.
These stretch goals PU's announced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to clarify.
Yeah, because here shortly they'll start to talk about the different systems and all of that too.
Okay.
So 3.25 mil. We've got Star Citizen will feature an additional flyable ship, the Misk Starfarer, which we also have.
Yeah, I think that one's been in the game for a long time too.
Yeah.
One of the most older ships.
3.5 million. We've got cockpit decorations and shipboarding. We do have some cockpit decorations, right? Little bobbleheads and such.
Yeah, you can do the bobbleheads and stuff. And recently, I've seen the posters show up, and in your inventory in the major cities and stuff, and you can actually hang them in the hab that you wake up in. I haven't seen the ability to put them in your ship, but the posters are in there. So, whoops, got a little off there.
And then shipboarding, kind of in, sort of.
I mean, that's basically it. I mean, if you can walk onto someone's ship and shoot them, so yeah, check that one off too.
I don't know if it's fully fleshed out as the dream of Star Citizen goes, but yeah, you can board somebody's ship.
Yeah.
Let's see, the 3.75 million goal. Star Citizen will feature an additional flyable ship, the Aegis Dynamics Retaliator. Tally's been in the game for quite some time.
Yep. One of the older ships also.
The 3 million goal, increased community updates at the RSI website. Squadron 42 will feature 35 missions, and citizens with appropriate packages will receive access to the Star Citizen universe with 40 star systems for persistent online play upon release. Upon release.
Whenever that is. Can you play the game right now?
I can play the game right now.
Right, yeah, so...
but I think that's interesting, though. 40 upon release, but that leak that we covered on the podcast a couple weeks ago, which, again, huge grain of salt with that leak. We have no idea if one of it's legit and one of it's not. But according to that, if it's to be believed, Star Citizen 1.0 is coming with, what was it, 5 systems?
I think that's what like Stanton, Pyro, and then 3 others. Yeah, I think it was 5.
And according to the $3 million stretch goal from 2012, Star Citizen 1.0, it doesn't say Star Citizen 1.0, but it says upon release,
right,
40 systems.
And from that leak, we don't know what 1.0 means. We don't know if that's beta, if that's full release, what they're considering it. So, yeah, we're either way, we're not going to hit 40 star systems at release. No. I can tell you that. Which I don't. No. I've talked about this before, but I don't think we need the 100 star systems they've been talking about. But
no,
there's been people that have done the math. Like if they're able to do 2 a month, that's still several years of putting out systems. So
I think we've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. Like, I do think we'll hit that number of systems, but I also think the vast majority of them will be pretty barren as far as locations made by CIG. Instead, I think there'll be big, wide open sandboxes for player-built locations.
Yeah, and they'll keep adding stuff even after whatever release is. Even if we don't get the 140, whatever at the start, I'm sure we'll see at least one system a year, after they start rolling them out. Something like that.
Yeah. And also, I think it makes sense for most systems to be kind of empty too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to only be 3 or 4 or 5 systems that have multiple locations like Stanton or Pyre or whatever, but I would still say it makes sense to have some empty ass planets and moons in large
Yeah.
numbers in the game, you know?
For sure. Especially for base building and stuff.
Yeah. The $4 million goal, continuing on here, a new star system will be added to the game for every $100,000 pledged, with descriptions posted to the CommLink. Then they list off different systems. Also, the RSI website will feature a monthly Wingman's Hangar webcast from the development team. Professional mod tools will be provided free to all players. I repeat, professional mod tools will be provided free to all players. You said it, CIG. It's still on your website. You said it. Squadron 42 will feature a richer storyline and 45 total missions, and Star Citizen will launch with 50 star systems and feature an additional flyable ship, the Drake Interplanetary Cutlass. So,
I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I don't think we're ever getting those mod tools.
We're not.
No.
We're not.
At any scope of the game, I don't know what they were thinking when they put this in the stretch goals. But just the way the persistent universe is going to work in general, like I don't see them giving private servers to people.
No.
In no way, shape, or form. The most we might get is like a Rastar tool for our base building. That's about all we're going to be able to mod, which isn't even modding, but yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen. Yeah,
no, I'm pretty sure any modding that happens with Star Citizen it's going to have to just be community driven. Just somebody figuring that stuff out. I don't know. Which, you know, that's the case for a lot of games, right? Like, off the air we were talking about GTA Online, and up until recently, all of that GTA RP stuff that happens, that's all been unofficial modding, right? That players had to create the tools for, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think Star Citizen is going to go that same route, you know?
Yeah, I don't see them splitting the player base with private servers or
no.
I think you know we'll have US servers, we'll have European servers, we'll have Asian servers, whatever countries they decide to put servers in, we'll have that, and you'll probably choose that to play on. And other than that, I don't see any community run servers or anything like that we see with GTA or DayZ or anything like that.
And you know, I think when private ones do go online, like, we're talking years after an actual Star Citizen 1.0 launch happens, right? It's not like the next day, you know, a Star Wars server is going to pop up and a Battlestar Galactica server is going to pop up the next week, and then there's going to be a Star Trek one the next month. Like, it's going to take time for people to, on their own, to make those tools needed and to just make all of the necessary technical changes. That I don't know how any of that stuff works, but
I can't see it happening. As complex as these ships are and stuff, where it takes months and months of, you know, skilled people to build them and flesh them out and make sure they work correctly and everything, I don't see, you know, your average everyday modder being able to do stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see what the future holds.
Yeah. Given enough time, you know, I don't doubt passionate mod communities, because we've seen them do amazing things with other games. But I think we'll both be approaching retirement age by the time we really see them, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. So we talked about the mods. You know, the systems, who knows? We still only have one in the game right now. Maybe someday we'll see 50 in the game. Hopefully so. I think we will, but again, not anytime soon. And then 45 total missions for Squadron 42. That number is going to continue to go up. The Wingman's Hangar, I think I actually checked that out. I don't vividly remember it, but I kind of recall that name. I'm pretty sure that did happen. And
is that Did that basically get turned into
YouTube.
Did that get turned into the hangar module?
Well, no, they're talking about like the OG ISC or Star Citizen Live, like the old video content.
I got you.
Then next up, we've got 4.5 million. Star Citizen will launch with 60 systems. Will feature an additional playable ship class, the Cruiser, and then all Kickstarter goals are unlocked. So, and then they list different features there, including all backers before November 8th, 2012 will start Star Citizen with 500 additional credits.
500? Whoa.
500.
That's crazy. I do like the repair bot here. That first one. All backers before October 29th will start with a Class 1 repair bot in their garage.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never heard of a repair bot.
Yeah, there's been talk about that, but nobody's mentioned it in forever from CIG. Like the only time I've ever heard it brought up like in recent years has been on other Star Citizen podcasts.
I know
like players are the only one that mention it.
I know I've seen players mention, and this was way before my time, but there used to actually be repair drones to repair your ship in hangars and stuff, which I never got to see, but maybe that's kind of what they're referring to, or
yeah,
I don't know if it'll be like a pet or something, like instead of having to hand fix your hull with the multi-tool, you can tell your bot to do it or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I just see it as something like the pit droids from Star Wars,
Yeah.
Let's see. Also part of that, though, interestingly enough, one of the additional playable ship classes was the Idris, that $4.5 million goal.
Yeah. And hopefully that comes out soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
This other stuff is already in. Extended hardcore flight sim controller support. That's in. What else was it? Featured 2 additional base types: Vandal Trading Post and Hidden Smuggler Asteroids. And I haven't heard of that additional alien race there.
Yeah, the Krthak.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to let you try and pronounce that, but yeah, I know of the Banu, the Vandal. What's the other one? Xi'an. But I'd never heard of the Krthak before.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. I might have to dig into some lore stuff to see if I can find anything about that.
Tweet Astropub.
I'm sure he knows. Yeah, I'm sure that would be the one person to ask.
Moving on to the 5 million goal. Enhanced boarding options, including melee combat, heavy weapons, zero gravity simulation, suit HUD options, and EVA combat. Increased ship customization, tablet companion application to check on your inventory, commission, or find missions, and get the Galactic News feed. RSI webcast will feature monthly town hall Q&A with Chris Roberts, RIP, the town hall, not Chris Roberts. Squadron 42 will feature celebrity voice acting, including at least one favorite from Wing Commander and 50 total missions. I wonder who that actor could have been. Star Citizen will launch with 70 star systems and will also feature an additional base type. Can you discover the alien derelict?
Yeah, I don't know what they mean by base types here. Is that just like derelicts we find, or
I'm thinking they mean like outposts and such that like we currently have with the different gangs.
Yeah, because some of the terminology, some of the terminology used in these stretch goals is a little different from what they use today to refer to different things within the game.
Yeah, maybe bases will differ in the same way that we have like different ship manufacturers, and some are human and some are alien. Maybe you can build Xi'an type buildings or Banu type buildings if you have, the appropriate rep with them or have done a quest chain or whatever. Just to have different architectural styles, and that'll help it to where like not everybody's base looks,
Yeah, I agree. That would be nice to have a little, even if they have the same functionality, just different architecture to make it look different.
Yeah, I mean, if I can have a Banu ship, why can't I have, a Banu house?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why not? See, the town halls, those were good. They no longer really happen. We don't see much of Chris in general these days, but he used to be all over the YouTube content back in the day.
I definitely
miss those times.
Yeah, I miss that too. I wasn't really around when he was, at the forefront of the YouTube and writing letters from the chairman like every month and all of that stuff. And now we get like a letter from the chairman maybe twice a year, and we see him at CitizenCon, and that's about it.
Yep. And then of course they were teasing Mark Hamill, which is cool. Squadron's now up to 50 missions though. Like, I didn't realize how long of a game Squadrons is supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they stuck to those number of missions in these stretch goals, or if it ended up, one mission is way longer and they count that one mission as 10 or something.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. And then moving on to 5.5 million professional mocap for the Squadron 42 cutscenes. Exclusive record breaker ship skin and 1,000 additional credits on launch for all backers who pledge before the 5.5 million stretch goal. And Star Citizen will feature the Bengal carrier as a playable ship class. We got the mocap, right? That happened, and continues to happen, right? They've, as recent as their, last monthly report, they were talking about still doing mocap work. I don't know what the record breakers ship skin was. I don't know what that's a reference to.
So that wasn't around
might
before
be in
this.
game.
Yeah.
And then the Bengal carrier is a playable ship class. Obviously, we don't have the Bengal.
Yeah. I think once they do
kind
release
of in game, but not flyable.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever have it as like something you can buy on the pledge store and then just, spawn the Bengal. I think they've talked about having them as like fully persistent, basically bases that you have to protect. So, you'll go find a derelict Bengal, then you and your org will have to gather all the materials you need to fix the Bengal. And then once it's fixed, you use it as your base, whatever you want to do with it. But it's always there. It's always persistent. So unless it's hidden really good, somebody can come try and take it, attack it while you're offline, whatever.
Okay.
So, we do have the Bengal in the game, but as far as it being a playable ship, far from it.
Right. Then also for the $6 million goal, this is where we get the 100 star systems from. So Star Citizen will launch with 100 star systems. The Bengal carrier will be unlocked for persistent universe play. Star Citizen and Squadron 42 will feature a full orchestral score. And the first Squadron 42 mission disc behind enemy lines will be available for free to all backers who pledge before $6 million upon release. So obviously the 100 star systems we don't have. More talk about the Bengal. The orchestral score we've got, right?
Yep.
The first Squadron 42 mission disc behind enemy lines. I don't know what they mean by mission disc.
Is that like a physical,
right?
Something that you get, like a box collector's thing? I don't know.
Could be something physical, or is that what they're going to call like levels? Like everybody gets the first level for free, like a demo. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm sure that thing is in somebody's hangar, but I wonder if it has any description to it.
Yeah, yeah. If you happen to know, let us know in the comments below. What's the Squadron 42 mission disc referring to? The $9 million goal. All backers who pledge before June 28th, 2013 will receive a Robert Space Industries Class 2 spacesuit in their hangar. Might be in the game.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not.
That was... trying to think about when I backed. That was the year before I backed. I think 2014 is when I backed, if I remember right. Yeah. So that wouldn't be in my hangar. $10 million. Cloud Imperial Games will build their own mocap studio to improve the quality of Star Citizen and Squadron 42's cutscenes.
That just recently happened.
Yep. 11 million. Move Wingman out of the basement. Move CIG Austin to a larger facility that will support expanded development. More room for employees means more man hours spent developing the game. They got out of the basement.
Yeah, they got out, and they have multiple studios now, not just the one in Austin.
Yeah. They're like over 1,000 employees now worldwide.
Something like that, yeah.
Let's see. $12 million goal. Build professional sound studios. We'll move Star Citizen sound production from a home office to high-tech facilities that will give us access to cutting-edge sound effects and Hollywood voice talent. And the hangar module will feature Oculus Rift support. I don't know if that ever happened.
I don't think so. I have seen some people stream using like a Oculus Rift or something similar.
Right.
But I think there's definitely some workarounds you have to do to get that to work. I don't think it's a supported feature.
Yeah, I was going to say my understanding was there's no VR support in game.
Yeah.
You've got to back into it somehow.
Yeah, they have, made comments on Spectrum Post here and there about will we ever have VR support, and I think there's one of the guys on the team doing Vulcan or something like that. One of those guys was talking about he is very passionate about trying to get VR support in the game at some point. But whether that's in the next 5 years, 10 years, we don't know. So maybe one day.
Yeah. And it specifically says the hangar module will feature Oculus Rift support. So, the module's not around anymore. So maybe they just drop it all together.
Yeah.
I think we will see VR, but like you were saying, probably not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Bigger fish presently. Let's see. $13 million. Star Citizen will feature an additional ship class, the Frigate, and Command and Control Center. Supervise the battle from the deck of your Idris or Destroyer class TBA with advanced CNC packages that allow you to tie all of your ships together and assume central command from the third seat. You think we're going to get those command and control centers? Think that's even possible?
Yeah, that's I was reading through this the other day, and I didn't even that one didn't even stand out to me, but that is
that's a big WTF goal. Like, where's the conversation been about this? Because I've not heard shit about it.
Yeah, this is like controlling a whole fleet of ships from your command center. Like, I think the goals have changed since this was written.
Yeah,
but
it says allow you to tie all of your ships together. Like, that's so open. Like,
yeah, like
what?
Even
in theory, you could control 100 ships. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, even with AI being like, I don't see ever being able to. Okay, let's just say, for example, you have an Idris and you want to have a Scorpius escort or whatever. I don't see any realm of possibility where you just get an AI to control your Scorpius with an AI turret gunner in there, and you can somehow just tell them all what to do.
Yeah.
Plus run your Idris with all the maintenance and crew you have on there. And yeah, I'm sorry folks, but I don't see this one ever happening. If this is what you want, if you want to control a whole fleet of ships, there's games out there that do that. But I don't see Star Citizen ever being one of those games.
You know, that was like the one thing that made somebody out there finally go, you know what? I'm going to back this project. That sounds dope.
Yeah, maybe.
There's somebody out there.
That sounds like an RTS to me.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a totally different game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Chris, if you're watching, I would like some clarification. So hit us up. CommLink Pod.
Yep.
Gmail.com.
Or at CommLink Pod on Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah,
Slide
just
into
tweet
our
us.
DMs,
We'll see it.
Chris.
Yeah.
All right, 14 million hibernation mode. For the explorers out there, we will add the ability to save and resume while you are out in space. When not in combat, power down your ship, hit the bunk, and exit the game safely until you can resume your journey. Professional quality feature length behind the scenes of Star Citizen documentary film. And Star Citizen will feature a fourth land out option on Earth. Where will it be? London? Berlin?
Yeah, some of these are getting crazy.
Let's start with this hibernation mode. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's basically in, right? You can go lay down in your bed and log off.
I'm just thinking about like all the times over the years bed logging has failed, and has been broken. Like,
yeah,
I guess it's more reliable these days.
It's definitely
right?
way more reliable these days.
But I couldn't help but giggle a little bit during that, like just thinking about like, I guess that feature is in game, but
yeah,
it could be better.
It's been broken a lot.
And then also for the explorers out there, exploring what,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything else here? Oh, the documentary film. I wonder if we haven't already seen bits and pieces of that, like those actor interviews that have been posted to the YouTube.
Yeah, maybe, but that would be cool to see, like a hour and a half long documentary on how it was made after it releases or something.
Yeah. Well, shit. I was just talking about the actors thinking Squadron, but it says Star Citizen documentary. So I'm sure that this is something that's going to happen eventually, assuming CIG doesn't implode before Star Citizen releases. I mean, there's so much video content that they churn out. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they haven't been doing some behind the scene interviews specifically for this project along the way too. So
yeah,
I'm sure we'll see it. 15 million. Star Citizen will feature an additional ship class, the Escort Carrier, and every backer will get a free digital 42-page upgrade handbook manual with their game, which goes through the process of customizing and overclocking ship systems.
that sounds interesting.
Yeah. That's 42 pages. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of ship systems in the game, but that's a lot.
Yeah, and this was before they knew about resource management and engineering and all this other stuff they've talked about recently. So
I think if a upgrade handbook is still going to happen one day, I think we're looking at a lot more than 42 pages.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know where they pulled 40. Maybe just because Squadron 42, they just pulled 42 out of the air and like, yeah, we'll try and make it 42 pages. So who knows?
Yep. 16 million arena mode. The next generation of Wing Commander's train sim allows pilots to test out their combat skills, et cetera, et cetera. They're talking about Arena Commander. Every pledger who backs before 16 million will receive a laser pistol. Keep your ship safe from boarders with a pistol by your side. So yeah, basically that reads as Arena Commander, and you get a pistol. Pretty simple.
Yep.
I'm curious which like specific pistol they're talking about though, right? Because everybody gets a pistol, like just by playing the game, right? Like you automatically get a flight suit, a helmet, and a pistol when you load a fresh character.
It's probably a special skin, I would guess.
Yeah. 17 mil. Every pledger who backs before 17 million will receive a ship upgrade package containing an engine modifier. And Star Citizen will feature an additional flyable ship class, the Battlecruiser.
These classes of ships are interesting to me because they vaguely use that terminology now sometimes, but they never, when they announce ships, they're not like, the RSI Restra is now the next flyable cruiser, or the Polaris is the next battle cruiser. Like they never, I'm sure they still have that internally, but I never see that like in game or.
And even like in the ISCs, when they talk about ship sizes, a lot of them, they just say, this is a small ship or a medium-sized ship or a capital-sized ship, like they're not going hyper specific like escort cruiser or battle cruiser. So do we have battle cruisers in the game right now? I don't know what qualifies. Is that a hammerhead? Maybe. If so, then yeah, but I don't know.
Or that might be an escort. Could
be.
But I think when these were written, the number of ships that they were probably anticipating on having is a lot less than we have now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 18 mil exclusive star system for pre-launch backers. Only players who support the game before its launch will receive the computer coordinates needed to allow their jump drives to access the system. Number one, lore-wise, why can that not just be shared with other citizens?
Yeah.
But number two, you really think they're gonna invisible wall players out of a system post-launch?
I could see maybe like people that have backed before the release getting the coordinates to it, and then after maybe you have to do a mission or buy the coordinates off of someone or something like that. But yeah, I don't see them ever like completely keeping people out of a system because they didn't back after or before a certain time.
Yeah, but also let's say, just for the sake of conversation, say you backed before launch and I waited until after launch to buy the game and we're playing together. I'll just get on your ship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and fly there with you.
Yeah, yeah.
It just seems weird having a chunk of the game excluding players like that based off of when they bought.
Yeah, I might have to come back to this one and read that chairman's letter that's tacked onto it, which I've noticed a lot of them have letters attached to them, but I haven't gone through and read any of them. But maybe there's a little clarity in those, but yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one.
It is. 19 mil. Know your foe with a James Fighting Ship style manual free in PDF form to all pledgers. Manage space stations. Again, manage space stations. Players will compete to own and operate a limited number of space stations across the game. And then also RSI Museum will air monthly with a new game featured each time.
Did we ever get RSI Museum? I've never heard of that.
If we did, I don't remember it. I don't remember it. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I've got no recollection of it. And then also a new game featured each. Do they mean like Chris's old games, like going through Wing Commander and Freelancer?
Yeah,
and all?
I don't. It's just some of the devs playing Minecraft or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Know Your Foe, as far as I know, I don't have that PDF, but maybe they did email it out at some point. I don't know. But of course, to me, the most interesting one here, manage space stations. Haven't
Which
heard
we've-
anything on that, but I
Yeah.
do think it's plausible that we'll see something like that. Maybe that's where orgs come into play in a more gameplay oriented way.
I think I remember Todd Pappy at CitizenCon hinting at the fact that they might be looking at player bases in space.
Yeah, he did mention that.
So maybe that's sort of tied into this somehow.
But this sounds like pre-made stations
Right.
the CIG's making.
Yeah, so maybe instead of letting us build in space, they'll only let us take free prefabricated ones already existing, or maybe, I don't know. I mean, Stanton, they're all controlled by corporations. Pyro, they're all controlled by gangs. But maybe we'll have some systems that have been abandoned that have space stations there that a org can take control over or something.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering why. Like what's the perk other than like bragging rights of controlling a station? Like, is it an economic thing? Like, do those stations generate revenue and then your org gets to gather revenue from the stations?
I would assume it would be an economic advantage because you take control of a space station. Now you have a strategic, fighting point. You can always back up to your space station with turrets and missile launchers and such. Plus, you'll probably have to, I would imagine, everything there you're going to have to stock and charge people different prices for. So maybe you're way out in the middle of nowhere. You have people that go mine Quantanium and bring it back to your station and fill your station, and then, somebody comes along and you charge them a premium for that quantum, and that's how you make your money or something. But yeah, I think the possibilities for that are pretty open-ended.
Oh yeah.
So I would hope it would be both like an economic and, battle strategy point, I guess.
Yeah, could be awesome. Also, I went ahead, I pulled up that letter from the chairman attached to this goal, and there's no additional details about the space stations. But it does say that RSI Museum will start next month with an in-depth look at Freelancer. So I guess that series was about Chris's previous games. And then let's see, there was something else. Yeah, the manual, the Know Your Foe manual will be sent out, I guess, with the launch of the game. So we don't have that PDF yet. So if anyone was wondering, don't bother going through your inbox. It's not there yet. Let's see. $20 million goal. First-person combat on select lawless planets. Don't just battle on space stations and platforms. Take the fight to the ground.
So this must have been written before they decided to have planets like fully landable.
I guess so, yeah.
I think initially, I could be wrong here, but I think initially when they first announced planets, it was planned to be more like Starfield, where you choose a location and you can fly down to it and land there. So that this might have been written when that was sort of the plan.
Yeah, it could be. The next one, 21 mil, salvaging. So we just recently got salvaging gameplay last year, right? But yeah, that goes back to 2013, looks like.
We finally got it.
Yep. Then 22 mil, we've got facial capture system. So uses a series of cameras to capture real heads and import them into the game. Going to let the team more easily create a variety of realistic characters. I'm assuming this capture system happened.
I was just reading that next line there. In addition, the technology is mobile enough to allow us to take it on the road and capture select fans during special events. So if anybody's been to a CitizenCon and they've captured your face, let us know, because I don't think that's a thing, but could be wrong.
Yeah. That'd be cool though. Like imagine being in the game one day as a coffee vendor.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah,
the
I'd be
noodle
down for
vendor in Pyro.
23 mil. The Xi'an Scout unlocked. I don't think we have the Scout in game, do we?
It says the Car 2. We have the Car 2 All.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
So maybe it was just renamed. Yeah, that sounds like the Car 2 All. Reading the description there.
Oh, yeah. So,
Oh, the Car 2
also,
All is the human variant.
yep, for sale to human civilians as a dedicated scout/explorer. Okay, so we did get it.
Yeah.
24 mil public transport system. This we don't have yet. Initially, I thought, like, when I first saw it, I thought they were talking about trams, like just getting around landing zones. But this says need to get from one place to another, but don't have a starship. We're building a galactic transportation system. You can travel via transport from system to system in Star Citizen, and even ship items like a ship you need moved to another hangar. With this stretch goal, we'll expand this system: starliners, long-range transports, charter ships, and flyable shuttles.
Yeah,
So,
that.
I mean,
What I've
we don't have multiple systems, so maybe that's why this isn't online. But also, if you don't have a ship, one, I don't know what pledge you got. Two, how are you going to go from planet to planet or moon to moon or moon to planet? Like, even just within Stanton.
Yeah,
So,
when I first read this, I thought they were talking about the trams also, but I have heard people talk about like that, this being a thing, not only players, but also transporting NPCs, which we've seen on the roadmap a few times now. And it's not been in the game yet, but yeah, I mean, I hope in the future you can buy packages that don't include a ship, and there will be enough missions around major landing zones to make money there, and keep you engaged long enough to buy your first ship from there. Or you can do something like this and hop on a airplane essentially and go somewhere else, because we see the UI for it in stations all the time, like flight from here to there, leaving at this point, arriving then. So yeah, if they put that in the game, I feel like, yeah, it would add a lot of, I guess, realism to the game. And I'm sure it would allow players with starliners and ships like that to also move people, have contracts for it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I just wonder if we're going to have, player transport missions. If you're going to have players in the game that are, just essentially playing space taxi, then why have this NPC system? Because to me, like, that's just going to undercut the players. Like, why am I going to wait for this guy to show up when I can just go over here to the spaceport and buy a ticket and just take off,
Maybe it'll be the other way around, where, if you want a flight to ArcCorp from Microtech, you might have to wait 30 minutes. But there might be a guy with his ship ready to go in 5, so you take theirs instead.
That's true. That's true. The maybe the NPC ones are on that sort of set schedule on a clock, and then it's like the difference between taking public transportation bus versus hailing a taxi.
Yeah.
The bus is going to show up at a certain time, but hey, a taxi, whenever you can grab one.
Yeah, I would hope it would work that way so players wouldn't get undercut. But there's also that option. If there's no players around, then you can always grab the NPC transport.
Moving on to the 25 million. This is an interesting one. Enhanced Alpha. We will use additional funding to build a wider alpha test than we had originally intended for the first phase of Star Citizen's launch. The initial plan was to first launch servers in North America and then expand to areas such as Europe and Australia to decrease latency in these areas, perfecting the game as we improve the experience around the world. This funding will allow us to invest in wider infrastructure for our early testing, spinning up remote servers earlier. Hitting this goal will also allow us to increase the number of remaining alpha slots. Extra alpha slots not only mean more Star Citizens will travel the verse at launch, but that we will receive more feedback and more stress testing. This in turn will allow us to better balance and enhance the Star Citizen experience. So the 25 million goals when the PU got real big, real quick.
And you got to think this is when they only thought they were going to get 25 million.
Yeah.
And we have 600 million now.
Right.
So it's the scope of the game is just from what we're reading all the way up until the 65 million. That the whole like proportion of it has just been blown out of perspective. So yeah, these are fun to read.
Fun. Yeah. 26 mil enhanced capital ship systems. We still can't fly capital ships without, breaking into an Idris, right? So not in the game yet.
This just feels like multi-crew. We're talking about multi-crew here.
Yeah. If any of these goals expose Star Citizen as a scam, it's the next one. 27 million Banu Merchantman unlocked. What the fuck, Chris? Where is it? Where's mine more specifically? Please, I want it.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Merchantman was so far back in the stretch goals, because we've seen like the Starfarer, the Retaliator. We'll see some more ships coming up here soon. A lot of them are already in the game, but the Merchantman still can't find it.
This thing is my new Merchantman.
Me? Just hanging around.
It's out there somewhere.
Just hanging around. Somewhere at CIG. Just waiting for release. Any day now. Anyway, someday. 28 million. New starter ship. So this is the Mustang hitting the game. And that's been in for quite a while now.
Yep. One of the classic starter packages.
Yeah. Is the reasoning for most players still to go with the Aurora package these days? Is that still
if
the
anybody
case?
asks me, I tell them to go Aurora. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that it has a bed and just a bed and a little bit of room inside and whatnot. But yeah,
for the habitation mode.
Yeah,
or the hibernation mode.
Yeah,
sorry.
the hibernation mode. Yeah, you can hibernate in it. So yeah.
29 mil enhanced mission design for Squadron 42. Squadron 42 just recently hit feature complete and is still in polishing. So hopefully that's in there, but we don't have the game yet. 30 mil Origin 890 jump. That has been in the game for quite some time. So they made good on that. 31 mil, the RSI Orion.
I don't think we'll see that one for a while. That's the giant mining ship.
I was trying to remember if that one was on the docket, because this is supposed to be a big RSI year, right? So
yeah, but
I can't remember if they really mentioned the Orion much.
No, I don't see us getting the Orion anytime. I think they're kind of building out the RSI language this year, but especially since they just announced the Arastra, I think we'll get that before the Orion.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because the Orion is so big, we don't even have mining mechanics to support it yet. Because most, if not all, rocks can be cracked by a single prospector or a mole. So until we see those Grim Hex size asteroids, that have to be cracked. I don't, there's going to be another level of mining we see either with or before the Orion.
Because CIG's keeping their word about not putting ships in the game before the game is ready for the ship, right, CIG? You've not done that lately, right?
They've never done that. What are you talking about?
But yeah, especially with the Erastra, like you were just saying. Yeah, that makes sense that the Orion's still a good ways away. 32 mil, Aegis Surveyor. Surveyor is the ideal ship for taking advantage of deep space wrecks. Tractor beams, floodlights, scanner options, and docking ports round out the tool chest on this capable utilitarian spacecraft.
I've never heard of the Aegis Surveyor unless it's been kind of tweaked into a different ship.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I don't think this is something I've seen on the pledge store anywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what ships it might have been turned into. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just doing a really quick Google on this one. Nothing from RSI comes up in the way of like a ship page for it.
Yeah.
There's an entry for it on the Star Citizen wiki, but that's it.
Not even like concept art for it or anything.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Interesting.
So
I bet it got
maybe
turned
someday
into a different ship.
Yeah.
I had to guess.
Let's see. Next up, 33 million. We've got the mighty Carrick. Great, wonderful ship that is unfortunately not in the best place in the game right now. You hate to see it.
Yeah, the Carrick came out not too long after I started playing. I remember the hype around it. It's insane. And still a really cool ship. It's one of my favorites, but just the way the game is right now, it's more of a hassle and everything to play with right now, just with how it works.
Yeah, the Carricks, it's seen better days, and hopefully it'll see better days again. Because it's a bummer right now.
Yeah, it really is.
34 mil. We've got the Misk Whole Sea. Which, hey, we've got it.
Yeah, we just got that recently this year, or this past year. And you have one, you have a loaner we haven't even looked at yet. But
that's true. I've not retrieved it once.
Yeah. Don't think there's a whole lot of reason to, since it's pretty much unusable right now. But it's in the game, so that's all that matters.
It's in the game, and CIG is not putting in any more ships before the game's ready for them. They said
would never.
so.
They would never.
35 mil, we've got the Drake Herald. Is the Herald in the game?
Yeah. It's that little one-seater data running Drake ship. Has a big engine on the back.
For the data running in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. I think it's it's one of the fastest ships in the game, I believe, just because it's mostly an engine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is also one of those ships that wasn't added before gameplay mechanics for it. So data running is a lot of fun. I tell you guys what.
For the next couple, the next few, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 million, all systems, none of which we have. 41 million, we've got procedural generation R&D team. They have talked procedural like here and there. So I think we've got the R&D team, right? Pretty safe to say.
Yeah, they mentioned the R&D and stuff in the monthly reports.
Yeah. 42 mil. We've got updated Observus Guide, Explorer class Mobiglass rig, the Gladius, and a Tal. Gladius, yes, we've got. The towel, I'm not sure if that's in game. I think
You
it
gotta
is.
you gotta go check your hanger, see if you got that towel.
I do. See the Moby-Glass rig. I don't think so.
Explorer class Moby-Glass rig. I mean, they have talked about having different styles of Moby-Glass and different apps within the Moby-Glass.
Yeah.
I know you can go to Microtech right now and buy like different colors, but yeah, none of them have a different functionality.
Right. Let's see. 43 million. The Omni Roll Combat Armor Orc MK9. We've got Orc armor.
Yeah, it's in the game.
44 mil. Stellar Cartography. Walk among the distant horizons you've charted in Star Citizen's dedicated map room, featuring a 3D holographic representation of the known universe.
So is this like a different module? Like the hangar module is like something you load into and then you have like a room with a map?
Yeah, it says build the most in-depth universe map possible and show it off to visitors or lock down your secret jump points and hidden trading posts so that no one else can follow. Interface directly with the observer's guide to find out everything from what ores are in demand on MacArthur to who serves the best pasta on Terra. And with the ability to leave your own notes about your encounters and travels, it's more than a map, it's your digital diary. So it's something in game.
That's, yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a crazy, intricate star map inside of a room.
Yeah. Is that for your habs?
Chris was smoking some good shit the day he wrote this one.
Oh yeah. So I pulled up the letter from the chairman associated with this. Everyone who pledged for Star Citizen before this point will be getting an additional room added to their hangars once the modular room system launches. And then it's got that description for the stellar cartography that we just read. So yeah, it's supposed to be part of our hangars.
But it's only for people who pledge before 44 million? Like that seems like a
Before 44 mil.
huge that seems like a huge feature to not let people have unless
The
they
vast majority of players.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds
That
like
is wild.
Yeah, that sounds like a really intricate feature to only let like I don't even know if it's a fifth of your player base at this point. Like I'd say
No.
the majority have backed way after this.
Yeah.
I'll have to see about that one.
45 mil, the Hadesian artifact. So mystery what happened in Hades has been one of the great archaeological puzzles ever since the system was discovered, blah blah blah. Yeah, not in the game.
It's just
far as I know.
like hanger flare, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Maybe?
getting from this.
Is this really just a hanger flare?
I think so, unless it's got like some lore tied behind it, but
I'm looking. Yeah, so at 45 million, you've unlocked one of our bankers' selected rewards, the Mysterious Sedation Artifact. We have some cool plans for what exactly this will kick off in the persistent universe, but you'll have to explore that aspect of the game yourself.
so it's going to be like a trinket that gives you a mission.
Like, yeah, tied into a quest line, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. I guess we'll see. Stay tuned. We'll do another quick search here to see if anything comes up with it being in game. It looks like it. So, well, kind of. I found a Reddit post. Large Haitian artifact fragment is a screenshot of someone holding up something that's labeled as a large artifact fragment. But I'm not seeing actually in the description it's saying that it's from Hades though. So I don't know if this guy's right. I don't know if this is actually in game or not.
I would say probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Anyway, moving on to 46 mil. Updated scanning software. Uh, is scanning really in the game right now?
I can only get it to work like 1 out of 10 times. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, is this updated? It doesn't feel updated.
yeah, I mean, they just released the Cutter Scout, and they're not releasing any more ships without their gameplay. So
Nope.
scanning
They said
is
so. They said
100%. Scanning's 100% in right now, guys. So
Yep.
go get your Cutter Scouts now.
47 million engine tuning kit. Have you tuned your engine lately?
No,
I haven't either.
because it usually blows up within 30 minutes of playing, and I just get a new one. So
But actually, though, is this in game? I don't think this is in game, right? Because it
nah.
says this kit comes with everything the fledgling engineer needs. So we're still
I can
waiting
maybe
on engineering gameplay. Maybe this year this comes in. Maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe we see it this year with engineering gameplay.
Yeah.
38 piece Omni tool. So if there's only 37 pieces, I'm coming for you, Chris.
He's also going to be angry with you. 48 million Retaliator commercial. Pretty sure we got the Tally commercial. 49 mil, the Xi'an space plant. I don't know if we got it, but maybe, who cares? 50 million alien languages. Do you speak Banu? Yeah, how's that been going actually? Right? Didn't you commit to doing a video series on CommLink where you're going to learn the Banu language?
Bro, I can
And
barely speak
tutor everybody?
English. Yeah. No learning second languages here.
Yeah, but this is when they introduced the idea of having real deal, like fully fleshed out languages added to the game. So I'm not sure how complete those languages are at this point in time. From what I've gathered, though, like all of the language being spoken, all the alien language being spoken in cutscenes has been like legitimate. They're not just making random sounds like Andy Serkis talked about that, right? So maybe all of these are done. I don't know, but at least some work we know has been done on the alien language.
Yeah. I'm as a, fact in general, I'm interested to see when we do start seeing like the Banu and the Xi'an and stuff, like when can we go to their space stations, or when can we visit their outposts, and when will we see them walking around amongst human NPCs and stuff. So
Right.
I'm assuming that's something they've been working on, especially for Squadron. But yeah, I would love to see some alien races inside the persistent universe.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things too where I'm never going to learn any of these languages, but it's cool knowing that when you hear them, like those are actual words being said, and it's not just someone making random noise into a microphone to sound like a language.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost necessary for world building if you're going to do different alien species and stuff. Just think about Lord of the Rings. What if the elves were just speaking gibberish? It just wouldn't work. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. 51 mil. Web-based known universe map. The platform web team priority will be shifted to making the known universe map available.
I think we have that. Yeah, on the website. I think, yeah, that's probably talking about the website map where you can go view all the systems and their lore and all that good stuff.
Okay. Gotcha. 52 mil. Let's see. The BB-12. It's a brand new manned maneuvering unit from Azure Sky Aero. Whether you're engaging in precision mining operations or delicate salvage retrieval, the BB-12 is capable of EVA operation for 6 uninterrupted hours. This new model features 24 precision nozzle thrusters and 2 redesigned heavy-duty tanks of gaseous nitrogen propellant capable of being hot swapped while on the drift or refueled back to on the ship. With the BB-12, Azure Sky has once again cemented their place as the premier EVA tech provider. No
Interesting.
BB-12.
Yeah, I don't know if this is before they decided to make all suits like have EVA capabilities. But I do remember them talking about like your suits having EVA fuel, and hopefully at some point your oxygen levels come into play, which they don't really matter at this point because you just walk on a ship and they go back to 100.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do know at some point eventually you're going to have to plan out your EVAs with fuel and oxygen and stuff, but definitely not right now. But I think that's one of the reasons they added the multi-tool, able to like pull you around places. So if your EVA, you've run out of EVA fuel, you can use your multi-tool to pull you on objects and such.
Sorry, dude. My Discord just randomly restarted itself.
Oh, good. I was just blabbing about EVA stuff.
Yeah, I missed like the last 10 seconds or so. Did my camera stay up for that?
Yeah, you were here the whole time.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, because it was just, I guess, just Discord, but yeah, straight up just restarted.
Good old Discord.
But great points.
Yeah. We'll see what happens if they eventually add the, limited amounts of fuel in your suits and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why you were talking about the suits being fueled.
Yeah, you're eventually going to have a finite amount of EVA fuel, and if you run out, you're going to have to use like your multi-tool or pulling yourself along surfaces to move around.
Gotcha. Yeah. 53 million. This is another one of those like really interesting ones where I'm like, I don't know if we're ever actually going to see this, and if we do, what actual gameplay impact it'll have. So the Independent Arbitrators Guild. Have you been wronged by your superiors? Has the member of your organization entrusted with watching the funds been watching them go into their own pocket? Think you don't have any recourse? You're wrong. Fully licensed and bonded to work with the UEE and beyond, the Independent Arbitrators Guild allows citizens and civilians, we don't discriminate, to file complaints against or within private organizations. Petition cases with our IAG representatives to have your voice heard and restitutions made. Is your business less than legitimate? IAG is only here to judge the matters you want us to. Confidentiality is guaranteed. So there's going to be an in-game function to handle org disputes among players?
Yeah.
What?
This is a weird one. I don't...
This sounds like RP stuff to me is what I hear. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how this could be like something that's going to have a tangible impact. I'll say like, you wronged me, so now we're going to go through this arbitration, and somehow during this gameplay save, you're going to be fined 100,000 credits to pay me. How is any of that going to work? Do we both have to agree to go into arbitration? Is the arbitration with an NPC? Is it with another player who's taken a contract from this guild to do? Like, there's different directions you can go with this, but I don't know how you go beyond this being like just voluntary role play, somehow officially supported by the game.
The only thing I can think of is it would be a strictly Squadron 42 thing. And maybe at some point in the game you have to, work with organizations or certain guilds. I'm grasping at straws here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a weird one.
Yeah. So if you're listening, if you have any theories on what this Independent Arbitrators Guild is actually going to look like in the game, let us know. Because like I said, this one stuck out more than most others did for sure.
Yeah, I have no idea how this could. Well, little idea with Squadron, but as far as being used in the PU, I don't know.
So I pulled up the letter from the chairman, and they give the description for it, and then they say, obviously this is, and the description is what we just read from the stretch goal notes. Obviously, this is something we aren't going to need until the persistent universe launches. But we've set aside funding for the position and are in the process of determining exactly what the requirements are. We've heard from many fans who want the job and are leaning towards considering applicants from outside the gaming industry. It seems like a paralegal with the appropriate grasp of our universe might be an ideal candidate.
So that sounds like they're actually going to use this for disputes within organizations. That's
A CIG staff member.
that is wild. I can't see the game ever being serious enough to ever have that implemented. But I mean, I guess we have, those certain organizations that play dirty or whatever you want to call it. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Chris was on when he was writing this up, but
we have to add somehow that image of Chris with the bong or whatever to the thumbnail for this one.
What was Chris smoking when he wrote these stretch goals?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, 54 million. More detailed AI activities. So they talk about a bartender, doctor, entertainer, nurse, sanitation worker, security guard, shopper, tourist, vagrant, vandal. Future AI roles will be added with future stretch goals. And each additional class of character will be fully expressive and have a role to play in Star Citizen's planet-side interaction and the game's greater economy. Well, we do have AI, and we do have like a bartender and people working in the med bay, like kind of, but also AI is very often dead. So, and I don't mean
Yeah.
laying on the ground dead. I just mean not responding, just standing still, not doing anything dead. So, kind of, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, we've always known they're going to have multiple different, AI professions and stuff to make the world feel alive, but until we see the server performance improve, none of that really matters.
Yeah. And then also the whole part about, having the role to play in the game's greater economy. Like,
Yeah,
right
we
now,
talked about
at this point in January of 2024, LOL.
Yeah, we talked about Quanta a little bit last week and how we haven't heard about it in like 2 years, so
Yeah.
who knows?
Someday. 55 mil ballistic Gatling. This is the Preacher's Inquisition. I'm not super familiar with the different ship weapon names in game. I don't know if we have the Preacher or not.
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't remember anything ever being called the Preacher.
Yeah. Its dual ammo feed allows you to hot swap feeds without exiting your ship, giving every owner the ultimate flexibility to pick the ammo based on the situation. This Arena Commander upgrade will be given to all players who pledge before we reach the 55 million goal. So is this an Arena Commander exclusive? Like not even hitting PU?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. 56 mil. J-Span Cryostar. Award-winning designers at J-Span has produced one of the most advanced cooling systems yet. So it's a cooling system. Not sure if the J-Span's in. And then 57 mil, we've got the Misk Endeavor class research platform. The Endeavor is the company's most prestigious ship.
The Endeavor is the one with those, in the concept art, it has like the long spindle with like the different pods on the sides, right?
Almost like biomes, right? Like a greenhouse pod and that sort of thing. Yeah, it says it's a dedicated research platform capable of carrying a dozen different space science packages, running the gamut from advanced long-range scanners for jump point identification to additional shielding for near-stellar corona research. Externally, the Endeavor is dotted with sensor hardpoints. Internally, the main compartment is centered on a large research laboratory, which can be configured for use by a wide range of scientific disciplines. The Endeavor's main compartment is modular, allowing an alternate configuration as a Hope-class floating hospital. It goes on and on. Battlefield support, capable of getting Marines and pilots back to the battle quickly as possible. Docking bays, capable of maintaining a single Cutlass Red. I mean, cool, badass sounding ship, but I mean, do you see it hitting anytime soon?
I think the Endeavor is going to be one of the last ships we ever see built in Star Citizen. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like one of the biggest ships as far as like, adding modules and stuff. It's still very cheap on the pledge store right now. Like when I upgraded my Redeemer to the Galaxy this year, I think the Endeavor was even cheaper than the Galaxy.
Interesting. So this could be one of those like long-term CCU holds.
Yeah. So if you want to wait another 10 years with it sitting in your hangar, go ahead and get it while it's cheap before it like triples in price. But
right.
I don't see this one coming out anytime soon.
58 mil, 10,000 UEC. In honor of the goal, we're giving 10,000 UEC to every backer. So,
all right, it's donation time.
More credits. That's cool. I wonder, like, what their concept of like how much a credit was going to be worth. What was their concept of that at the time of making these builds? Because like the previous one about the additional like 500 credits, like, thanks, I guess that's a single kill with call to arms. Like, 500 credits doesn't get you much at all.
Yeah, I think the economy will still be balanced even from what we see now in the future.
59 mil, the Anvil Aerospace Crucible. Still working on the Crucible, but hopefully soon. TM?
Yeah, that's a really cool ship.
Yeah. So-called flying toolbox. 60 million, the Aegis Vanguard class twin engine deep space fighter, the Vanguard. Unfortunately, the Vanguard is in the game.
Yep. Several variants of it.
Yep. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. God, I hate the Vanguard.
Yeah. Up until the...
I shouldn't say it. I hate fighting against the Vanguard.
Yeah, I was about to say up until the F-8C Lightning came out, my least favorite ship to fight was the Vanguard Sentinel. And it seemed like everybody that flew one just backspaced as fast as they could, popped that EMP, and shot a shit ton of missiles.
Or back strafed.
Yeah, back strafed.
If only they would have backspaced.
Yeah. That's what they should. I'm not even going to get into the Vanguards, but yeah. Not a favorite ship of ours around here.
If you're a Vanguard fan, let us know in the comments below. We love you. 61 mil, the Prowler. We also have the Prowler. 62 mil, the Genesis class Starliner. Genesis is yet another landmark in Crusader Industries' proud history of transport designs.
That's going to be one of those cool ships, just for people that like, transporting people and the luxury touring and stuff like that. I think it's one of Disco Lando's favorite ships.
Yeah.
And he talks about it fairly often, so maybe we'll see it sometime.
63 million, the Misk Reliance.
Never really flown one, but they're in the game.
Yeah. I don't think I've flown one either. Not much to say about it. And then one that also is to me super interesting, just because I want this in the game. Pets, 64 million. Pledge goal was pets. So we have repair bots. We have fish. Do we have fish?
Nope. Boyds are coming, though.
Boyds are coming. They're also going to be in the game soon. Is 64 million. That changes from Jones the Cat and Alien to the Battlestar Galactica's Daggett. Pets have a place on board starships. We want to give you that option in Star Citizen. Expect traditional terrestrial options plus anything exotic we can dream up in the Star Citizen universe. Those horseshoe gray crabs that keep escaping are just the start. The stretch goal is in honor of Paddington, strike dog of the UES Paul Steed. In one of our first videos, Paddington helped us get to $4 million back in the initial campaign and has sadly passed away. Oh no, sadly passed away recently.
Hate to hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, pets. I want pets. I want to be able to go out and tame fauna and them become pets. I want to be able to have animal life around in general in the game, but yeah, specifically, like I'm the MMO player that when I'm, in a point of the game where I start to unlock pets, I have them follow me around. They're fun,
Yep.
Will you be able to have a dog that follows you on all of your adventures? I don't know. Maybe they stay on the ship. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work, but in some shape, form, or fashion, yeah, bring it on.
What happens when your ship explodes with your pet on it? That now, if you blow up your ship with a few dogs on it, you're really gonna feel like an asshole. There's those people out there that will specifically hunt for people with pets, though. You know it.
Dude, I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 the other day and accidentally ran over a dog while on horseback and felt horrible. And the dog didn't even die. Thank God. But just knowing, like, because it made like the trampling sound and like the whimper sound, and it was like,
oh my
God. So like, yeah, I don't want to blow up a pet on a ship.
Yeah.
Their owner, yeah, I'll blow up all day, but I don't want, oh God. Oh no. What happens when the pirates have pets?
Right.
This is going to have a whole morality layer added onto the game. Maybe we shouldn't have pets. Star Citizen just got too real.
Well, now that I think about it, the eventual plan is to not have ships explode as much as they do now. They'll more or less be disabled, like soft death.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be, you're going to want to leave them soft death more often than straight up blowing them up. So I don't know. Maybe that'll keep people from killing other people's pets, but yeah.
Dude, you get soft deathed, right? You're a miner, minding your own business, just trying to make a buck out in the verse, just trying to make a few credits here and there. And you're out there with your space dog that you've had for years. It's a beautiful life. And then these fucking pirates show up and board your ship and are holding you hostage. And they want your cargo. At first, you're not cooperating. So you know what they do?
I know what they're going to do.
As they're holding you down, they're going to shoot that space dog right in front of you. And there's going to be a death animation, and you're going to have to see its lifeless body hit the cold, hard floor
And that's when that
And
space
that's
miner
gonna
turns into
be-
John Wick.
And that's when, yeah. But that's going to be an experience in Star Citizen if they do this. Somebody's going to have that experience.
Yeah.
That's some heavy shit.
Yeah, it's interesting how they're going to make these work. If they'll be, you know, invincible or I don't know. Yeah.
That would be
definitely
the thing
want
to
'em.
do. That would be the thing to do. At the very least, they need to be insurable.
Yeah, like
So you can just get another little Astro or whatever you name your space pup. Like,
yeah, maybe there'll be a little there'll be a smaller bed beside the medical beds and all of the hospital rooms. So when you wake up, there's a little pet bed for your pet to wake up on.
oh, and its tail is wagging. And it's so excited to see you. It's like nothing bad ever happened. Oh, what an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, let's get it going. The RP possibilities are endless. It's not the last one, is it?
Whew.
Nope. We still got
This
one more.
this ended up being by far the most emotional episode we've had. Like, I'm really feeling down right now thinking about
Yeah,
this.
they got heavy real quick. Sorry, folks.
It'll make you think if you bring your pet along with you on your ship or not. I'm thinking
Yeah.
it just stays nice, safe, and sound back at the Habs.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing if I have a pet. Unless it's like, you know,
I want Astro
Some-
to see the verse though.
yeah, maybe I wonder if they'll add like, you know, your pet can like pick up stuff for you or I don't know. Some MMOs have features where pets will perform a different task or whatnot, but
Yeah. We'll see. And then finally, the last one, the $65 million Star Citizen stretch goal. Enhanced ship modularity. Someday.
yeah, we've been hearing about it for years. They're working on those Retaliator modules any day now.
We were talking about ship modularity years ago when I owned a Caterpillar. We were talking about that having modularity
Yeah,
years ago.
imagine.
So
Hopefully this year though, if they plan on getting the Galaxy out in any, you know, amount of time soon, which it's got like 3 modules slated for it right now at least.
yeah,
So I don't know. Hopefully that's this year in 2024.
I hope so. I'd love to see it. And I would also love to see retroactively the Caterpillar finally getting its modularity too. I like that ship. Like, I don't think I'm going to necessarily go back and get a pledge for it again, but I do see like once Star Citizen launches, once we get Star Citizen 1.0, that eventually being part of my fleet. Just
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I think it's a cool ship, you know. So yeah, hopefully 2024 will be the year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so that's all of the stretch goals on the funding page. They stop at 65 million.
Yep.
There's a few letter from the chairman's afterwards, where he talks about why they quit the stretch goals, stuff like that. But yeah, it's crazy. It only goes up to 65 million, and at this point, we're at over 600 million.
Yeah, again, just for context, as of today, $660 million in change.
Yep. And
That's crazy.
yeah, I guess they weren't going to, say they reach 65 million and they're like, oh, we got to have modularity in now. I think it's just, stuff that I guess they're not rewards. Some of them are.
Yeah.
But just ways to enhance the game as people support it more. And obviously since then it's the scope of the game has grown tremendously.
I've got a hypothetical for you. Say funding stopped at 65 million. Do you think we have a Star Citizen 1.0 right now? Like smaller in scope, but do you think we have a release game? Or do you think the project ends up shutting down? And maybe at this point in 2024 is shut down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we would get Squadron 42 no matter what. Maybe not as in depth or the fidelity or immersion or whatever you want to call it at the level it is going to be now. But yeah, I think they set out to release Squadron 42 and they would have at least done that. But yeah, maybe we'd still have a PU and a much smaller scope. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. Again, it's, clearly just speculation at this point because, we're approaching $1 billion in funding and we're talking about 65 million, which is not pocket change by any means. Don't get me wrong. I would love 65 million, but compared to 660 million,
yeah, it's
well beyond that.
It's interesting to think about because what would Squadron 42, look like at $65 million? Because obviously games like this, Red Dead, GTA, like cost hundreds of millions of dollars, as we can see at this point.
Yeah.
So what kind of game would we get if, funding dried up at $65-80 million? I don't know. Probably a lot less intricate than what we're going to get. But we would have seen something, I feel like, but yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting to think about. Let us know in the comments below what you think would have happened had just, for whatever reason, suddenly people stopped buying pledging the game. I need to stop saying buying. We've not bought the game. We've pledged. But anyway, if money had just stopped pouring in, what do you think what would we be talking about right now in regards to Squadron 42 and Star Citizen?
Well, yeah, would there even be a Star Citizen to talk about? It might just be Squadron.
Could be. I mean, but at that point, at the 65 million goal, we're talking, when is this? This is, it doesn't have so the $63 million goal, it says November 25th, 2014. So at this point, we've, at the very least, I can't remember when they added like SPK and everything, but at the very least, we had the hangar module. So in some form, Star Citizen was quote unquote playable. So I think if funding ends at 65 mil, they've still got to deliver something Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And at this point, that something is still 100 systems.
Yeah. That's
right?
True.
Because they're saying 100 systems at, what point was that? It was pretty early on.
Yeah, I don't see them able to build even these stretch goals just with the 65 million funding.
$6 million. 100
was 100 star systems.
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't know what Chris was smoking when he wrote these funding goals, but
if funding stopped at $6 million,
right? There's no way in hell. There's no way we would even get 2 systems.
No. I don't think we don't even get Stanton if it stopped at 6 million. Like, you know what I mean? Or not with multiple planets. We get Stanton with ArtCorp. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
But here we are today in 2024, $660 million in, and it's a ride.
If funding stops at 660 million, do you think we get 100 systems?
Probably not. I honestly don't even know if we're going to get 100 systems if funding never dries up.
Right.
I just at the pace they're going now, maybe by the time we're in adult diapers in a retirement home, they might have 100 systems, but yeah, I don't even think I see that with a $1 trillion goal, us getting 100 systems.
Oh, you're way more pessimistic about it than I am. Okay. 'Cause
I mean,
I think they do it with procedural tech, and they just throw out empty planets.
yeah, they could like make it No Man's Sky, but
Yeah.
I
With
don't know.
some detailed outposts here and there from CIG, but for the most part, empty.
Yeah, but I mean, you can throw all the money you want at the project. It's still going to
Yeah.
take time.
Oh
So, yeah, unless they really up that procedural generation and the vast majority of the systems are just desolate, barren areas for players to build out, I don't see 100 systems.
yeah. Well, on that note, let us know in the comments down below. You think we're going to get 100 systems? What were your thoughts on the stretch goals? A lot of those we do have in the game, right? We've talked a lot about the ones that we don't have in the game, but keep in mind, quite a few of those goals have been added into Star Citizen already. So based off of this, I kind of jokingly started at the start of the episode that this is going to help us determine how much of a scam Star Citizen is. I don't think it's a scam. I think that Chris and company are maybe way over ambitious with some of those goals listed, and I would be surprised if some of those don't just end up being like, sorry guys, it's not going to happen, or just don't get mentioned again, which I don't know if maybe there's potential for legal action in that case. I don't know, but I don't know how that works. But regardless, not a scam per se. A lot of those have been put into the game, and some of them have been in for years, and some of them have been in for just a few months. So
Yeah, this was a fun one. It's not often I go look at the stretch goals or pay attention to what has been promised to be in the game, other than like, the roadmap, stuff like that. But yeah, it was fun to look back and see what was going through their heads in 2014 and a little before. But
yeah. I always like looking back at this stuff, and that's why I'm excited to do more of those reaction videos where we go back into the Star Citizen YouTube archives and check out some of those old videos when Chris was around in front of the camera more often.
Yeah, and speaking of more videos, we're going to be doing, hopefully getting some of those react out soon. We got the new CommLink alerts that are going up. We didn't do any this week because it's pretty slow week in Star Citizen news, but expect next week, 2 weeks, when stuff starts picking back up, those will be out weekly, covering the most predominant articles and stuff they put out. And we also have our giveaway going on for the Cutter Rambler on our Twitter/X, whatever you're calling it these days. So go make sure to follow us and get in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, we're also on Instagram at CommLink Pod. And thanks, as always, for checking out the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And as Silvius was just saying, make sure to check out our other videos that are already up on the channel, including our reaction videos and those CommLink alerts. And until next time, thanks, everybody. Be safe. Be well. Appreciate you doing this with us. As always, Silvius. It's a lot of fun.
Always. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.